atmosphere that's already present in the Midwest, we can predict that it's going to get here with this speed of wind and this force at this temperature. By the time it hits us, it will be this, and it will produce 5 or 8 inches of snow. The white man knows how to predict the weight of a messenger of God coming. The worse the condition, the greater the messenger. Y'all all right? That's why we love Farrakhan. That's why we love this man. Because there ain't never been another people on earth that caught more hell than black people in America. We catching more hell than anybody ever caught. We deserve the greatest messenger of God ever seen. Well, guess what? We received him. His name was the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the other name is Farrakhan. They're here today to solve the problem. So look at the white man's stats. Violent crime index. Do you know that they study young people more than they do old people? Huh? Help me out, y'all. You ever heard of the school to prison pipeline? These crackers actually study 3rd grade test scores of little black boys, and they can determine based off the test scores of a 3rd grader how many jails they need to build. How old is a 3rd grader? 8 or 9? You mean to tell me you're studying their scores? Well, how do you know that they're going to be in jail? Because I know what I put in the music. I know what I got on television. I know what saturates social media. I know what's in the food that they're going to eat. And if I can mix the way they are with what I got waiting on them, I know by the time they're 18 or 21, they're going to be occupying one of these jail beds. In the Holy Quran, Allah says to Satan that thou shalt surely be of the respited ones, delayed judgment, delayed doom. The devil says to God, I shall surely make your progeny perish. Except a few. Progeny means sons and daughters. The devil's target audience is young people. So the stat, see, when you go to get a sample on the people's social weather that's going to dictate the coming of a messenger of God, you don't go to the elders. You don't go to the grown people. You got to go to the target audience. School to prison pipeline, school to messenger pipeline. So when they did the stats, look at this. They noticed that from 1980, these are the arrests for the juveniles of violent crimes. Among the juveniles, black people have the highest arrest rate of all people. Listen to this. 5 times more black children are arrested than white children. But there are 6 times more white children in America than there are black children. We ain't more criminal than they are. They just patrol us more, harass us more, and arrest us for BS more. Among these stats, they're studying the target audience, violent crime index. From 1980, we were averaging about 1,100 arrests per 100 juveniles in the United States aged 10 to 17. As it moved on, around 86, it stayed about the same. But they noticed from 86 up to 1994, the crime rate and violent crime index among young black juveniles had almost doubled. It went from 88,000 to 94, 1,600 per 100,000. You all right? But then the white man noticed a significant drop. All of a sudden in 1995, there became a reduction among violent crime among young black males like never seen before. It went all the way from 1,600 down to 600 per 100,000 over the next 10 years. Well, what happened in 1995? I want to talk about the Farrakhan effect. It was in 1995 that Farrakhan called for 1 million black men to atone and reconcile to their community. And nearly 2 million men showed up. Ever since that day, it went all the way down. Y'all still all right? They noticed that the homicide rate, this is the Farrakhan effect. The homicide rate per 100,000 in 1958, there was only 4 homicides per 100,000 black people. Y'all didn't hear what I just said. Do you know in 1956 is whenever the most honorable Elijah Muhammad popularized calling each other brothers and sisters? You didn't hear me. See, that was a time period that we didn't call each other bees, dogs, my nigga. Everybody was just brother and sister. And it's something, see, language is powerful. Words just don't describe reality. Words can produce reality. In the beginning was the Word was God, Word with God, Word became. You can speak it into existence. Did you hear me? Profession produces possession. Whatever you want, start talking about it. All right, I'm gonna let it go. But as time went on, we get into 1980, all of a sudden, all the brother and sister talk from 56 to 75. Y'all not hearing me. 56 to 75, all the stats that went all the way down from 6 to per 100,000. Now it's up in 1975. Now it's all the way up to nearly triple that. You all right? But then all of a sudden, in 1977, it reached its all-time high, but between 1977 and 1984, there's a steep decline. What happened in 1977 to 1984? It's called the rebuilding of the Nation of Islam. The Farrakhan effect. Are y'all all right? Last but not least, I got to find my other document. This is white folk stats, not mine. It's white folk stats. Do you know right now that there are 17,500 books, articles, and transcripts that are written about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan all over the world? There's a book out right now written by a Indian doctor named Robert Singh. It's called The Farrakhan Phenomenon. Did you hear me? The Farrakhan what? When you get a chance, I want you to Google the Woody Lynch letter. And then Google the document that supports it called Making of a Slave. And you'll see that there's a mentioning of what they call warning of interloping negatives. Where it talks about the mind has a way of correcting itself if it's connected to a substantial amount of historical-based knowledge. He said, and it says later on, we must do everything we can to keep this phenomenon from occurring. Then go look up the word phenomenon. Phenomenon is not just an event. Phenomenon is a person. Somebody got to cause us as black people to have our mind connected to a substantial amount of historical based knowledge. And let me tell you something, black history is not a substantial amount. That's the accomplishments of a slave under the slave master. Let me tell you something else. Egyptology is not a substantial amount of historical based knowledge. Egyptian history is just the best of black people in our fallen state. In order for you to get a substantial amount of original historical based knowledge, you got to go back trillions of years ago when the first man created himself from nothing. And you can't get it except from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. They measured the statistics. They call names and children being named after somebody measurable impact data. In 1993, one of the most popular names in America was Simba. Lion King, y'all act like y'all remember. Simba. Come on now, y'all remember his dad, what's his dad, Mustafa? And talking this, Simba became popular because of the Lion King. Mufasa was the daddy. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to read a modern translation. Of course, you know Anthony's popular. It got to be the longest lasting black name. Every cycle of time that has some Anthony's. Is this true? Anthony's been winning. I don't know who the original one was, but I know he's been winning. But in 1993, whenever they looked up the names of children named after someone to see the measurable impact that that person may have had or is having, the name Farrakhan had no data. But in 1995, when they start looking at babies around the world named Farrakhan, keep in mind that in the nation, we don't give our children the name Farrakhan because we know that name belongs to him and his immediate family from his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So anybody naming their child Farrakhan is not a member of the nation. This is people in the world doing this. And do you know in 1995, Farrakhan, there's more babies in the world named Farrakhan than Simba? The Farrakhan effect is greater than the Lion King effect. Y'all still all right? So sisters and brothers, who do they say I am? You know who they are? Masters of the people and also the rulers of this world. But who do you say he is? This is those of you that say that you believe in him, love him, or support him. Our job is to defeat the wicked that's changing the they and get the minds of the they to become part of the us. But on the biggest side, defending Farrakhan ain't about thumb wrestling. It's not about arguing back and forth. It's about living a life that's an exemplary life. Where people don't even, they ask you, why does your skin look so good? How is it that you are 75 years of age but you're moving like you're 14? Why do you say yes ma'am and yes sir? How do you drive that? How do you have that? How do you know all of that? Man, that's a good brother. She's so kind and considerate. Where you getting all this from? See, everywhere we go when we living right. Everywhere we go when we are an example of the teachings. Everywhere we go whenever we are talking the talk and walking the walk. Everywhere we go, people want to know who we are. and where we come from. We didn't come from Pakistan. We didn't come from India. We didn't come from Saudi Arabia or Egypt. We came from the mind of Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's what makes us what we are. And by the grace of Allah, use your mouth, use your thumbs, but the most important thing to use is the life as a living testimony that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Thank you for listening as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Can y'all do me a